If I type in Greg's, I get a bunch of websites that are not exactly what you think.
It's got 2 G's.
Well, you mean it has 3 G's, right? 'Cause you get the first one and
Yes,
the last
okay,
2.
fair enough. The ones that Roger's looking at, though, are like hot local Greg's. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroco Cracked Opalescent Mirror. This antique mirror of polished black pearl reflects only the ugliness inherent in the human soul. Use it to view your flaws, ruin your foes, or complete the ritual of Vasca here. The Monstroco Cracked Opalescent Mirror. What the fuck?
Vasca here, you say?
If you don't complete Vasca here, the Rusaki gonna get you.
Also, you don't want to mess it up or else you'll become trapped in the mirror. Just saying.
Yeah.
There are lots of people trapped in the cracked opalescent mirror.
And you don't want to be one of them. Or do you? It doesn't seem like it's bad in there. Everyone's smiling at me.
Yeah, but it looks like a painful smile. It looks like they're being forced to smile. You don't want this, Roger.
I don't.
Aren't we all being
smile again?
Forced to smile?
I guess in a sense.
Even if it's a forced smile, I've been an adult for too long, Jordan.
Yeah.
I think I want to enter the mirror.
Fair enough. All right.
Enter the mirror.
Enter the mirror.
Lose your frown. It turns it upside down and backwards.
What do we got for him this week, boys?
I have something. I bought another book.
Ooh.
I'm into buying books this year.
Hey, book buying's great.
Written by people whose names I cannot pronounce. That is
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Frank.
That is the one thing that I have promised. And this book is titled, also, I'm going to take the speaking school. Give it to me.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I shall unwrap it with the red cloth that always covers it, and I shall now pour the candle on there, or the candle wax, of course. And now that part of the ritual is complete, the first third, I am going to introduce us to a book that I bought on Amazon called The Sasquatch People and Their Interdimensional Connection.
Fuck yeah.
So for the next few weeks in March, I am going to be talking about the Sasquatch people and, of course, their interdimensional connections. This is a book written by, and I apologize for butchering your name, but I am trying my best and I'm getting better. Kiwani Laparidis, who has a BA, an MS, and an MH in Seattle, or she's from BA, MS, MH Seattle. I'm going to share this so we can solve this together.
Nice.
Does she have a bachelor's and a master's of science and lives in MH Seattle? No, she lives in Seattle, Washington. I've read things before.
Yeah.
This woman is learned, or man is learned. I am not. So.
Stuff out there.
It's tough out there. But I was reading a little bit of this book and loving every bit of it. It goes into a lot of depth. We have cryptoanthropology, the ancient ones. That's chapter 1. The Sasquatch whisperers, the ET UFO connection, the hyperdimensional Sasquatch, the vortex phenomenon.
HDS.
I mean, it sounds like you could do a spin-off podcast of this one about this book.
Just using this book.
I will not. That is too much work, and I have other things to do. So instead, we're going to segment out some of the better parts. I'm going to suggest you all support Kiwani Separatist
Okay.
Please do so.
Consider them supported.
And check out their other work. They do a lot of crypto anthropology work. And to get into this, I want to read the goddamn first chapter because it is brilliant.
Okay.
Not all of it, but up to a certain point.
Here for it.
Bang, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Was the sound heard at the cabin door late one evening by a 60-year-old divorced man living in a remote forest some 50 miles southeast of Seattle, Washington.
And this time it wasn't the police.
This was the 90s. Upon opening the door, the man was startled to see an attractive, curvaceous woman, completely nude, with short brown hair, not fur, covering her entire body.
Fur?
Not fur.
What?
Not fur.
Okay.
Why? You don't have to mention that. I assume that someone's not covered in fur before you.
Listen, this is a Bigfoot book, and they're trying to explain as something that's relating to Sasquatch. So I think they're just protecting our minds, going, now this isn't a Bigfoot.
Right.
This is something unusual with a lot of hair.
Yeah, this is something unusual to any Bigfoot researcher. A woman.
There was no hair on her face whatsoever. Yep, they are describing just a woman in a very weird way. Although some women got better beards than I'll ever have, so much respect to you. There was no hair on her face whatsoever. She did not have a crazy word there. She did not have any black features. That is not the word used.
Okay.
Wore straight long hair on her head and had short hair that was evenly distributed on her breast and everywhere
she did
else.
Have hair.
It's not fur though. This is hair.
Okay, all right. So a babe. There's a babe at the door.
There's a Cousin It style babe at the door.
All right.
It can be combed out.
Okay.
Very weird why the author used the N-word there.
Oh boy.
I just have to let that known.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and retract my support.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So let's read this book for other reasons and not support. Let's hate read it. The female. Oh, no, on her hair on her breast, everywhere else except for her palms and the bottom of her feet. The female was around 6 feet in height. The woman appeared to be pleasant and gentle and immediately began making overtures of a sexual nature towards the gentleman.
Mamma mia.
This is for the chapter Crypto Anthropology, the Ancient Ones.
Okay.
He was stunned at the sexual nature of overtures coming at him. What little communication occurred was strictly telepathic. Soon the two people were in bed engaging in sexual intercourse.
See, now I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is a drunk woodsman who hired an escort and then forgot that she was coming.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this story is being told in the lunchroom in high school. And sure you did, Terry. Sure.
So now we
had sex with a Bigfoot.
Now we get into the weird part of this little story. As if not shocking enough, after the romantic interlude, she smiled at him while climbing out of bed and then proceeded to walk through the wall.
Okay, well, okay.
2 months later, there was another...
like the Kool-Aid Man or like a ghost?
No, like a ghost, I think.
She smiled at him and said, "Oh, yeah."
I think more so phased through the wall, kind of like who's that person?
Spider-Man. Superman. Batman.
Like Batman, thank you. Phased through the wall like Batman. 2 months later, there was another knock at the door, and when the man opened it, the forest being was once again standing there, pointing to her belly.
Bump, bump,
Oh, I knew it was coming.
She's hungry now.
She telepathically said, "It took," and then turned and walked away. The man never saw her again.
Ugh, that's it?
That's it?
Yeah.
During the previous months before he first met the seductive lady, he had observed, however, a Sasquatch at the edge of his property on multiple occasions. But he had never seen one up close. Also, a week before meeting her, he had witnessed a spaceship hovering a couple feet above a small lake near his cabin. The man claimed it had a long tubular appendage submerged in the water. The following morning, he noticed that the water level in the lake had dropped significantly by about a foot. He associated the UFO with the woman whom he had the sexual encounter. All of this was rightfully confusing to him, so he called a group of investigators from a local UFO organization to report the incident and to possibly receive some explanation of what happened.
Boy, that's going to be a weird call.
Guys, I might have done something.
Look, I know there's a sign at the edge of the woods that says "Don't bang the wood nymphs." But listen, I followed the other sign. I didn't feed any bears.
I mean, 1 out of the 20 signs isn't bad, right?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right?
Huh?
What's that? Yes, I did have sex with a bear also, but that's not feeding it.
There's no sign about that.
Actually, if you want to get technical.
I have been asked multiple times to stop making love to the bears. A member of said team relayed the report to me. The writer, Kawani, I do believe. Sorry if I butchered that. No, I'm not. You use the N-word. As a veteran Sasquatch researcher, I immediately recognized the woman the man described to be an ancient one and not a Sasquatch.
Okay. So on a fully different plane.
I just threw a wrench in your fucking theories, baby.
I gotta
we'll
go back to
over them eventually. Go on.
I gotta go back to this slur that this person dropped. Was it like a hard R N-word, or was it that one that anthropologists sometimes use?
It's the one that anthropologists sometimes use that do have newer terms for explaining various features.
Still dated.
Still dated, yes.
Okay, but it wasn't like a really strange right turn.
I mean, it was knowing that this book was written in 2010.
Yeah, okay. That puts some things into perspective, though.
That's well beyond the time when those terms would have been applied.
Yeah.
What a wild world we live in.
Carry on. We don't have to linger in this cul-de-sac.
I thought you were going to maybe want to go back to the UFO that was stealing water.
Yes.
Stealing water, probably to cool the reactor.
Yes.
Where are we? That is an ancient one, though. Supposedly not a Sasquatch. I wanted to interview the man myself.
An immortal?
Yeah, like it was a real
or just like a spirit creature.
Oh, we're gonna go into it. This is like why the book's title, The Sasquatch People. This is multiple types of what we consider Sasquatch.
We'll get into the taxonomy of the Squatch.
Oh yeah, baby. It's gonna get deep. We're gonna get wet with this one, okay? We're diving into this book. I wanted
head
to
first into a 1 foot less deep waters.
Because that's tubular UFO.
Yeah. And is it straight? I mean, I would think they would have moved beyond tubes. Is that Is that just me?
I mean, it might just be the easiest engineering thing
guess
to
it
do.
is.
Like,
But I mean, if you have like some sort of gravity beam, couldn't you just zoop?
Yes and no, I think. Here's why. Because
We are a
gravity
tube-based society.
is they're tube-based society, first of all. And this is a human with a very basic understanding of what we can do with various anti-gravity technologies we can do, which is nothing. We don't have that technology in a
You
true
have
sense.
yet to unlock the secret of the tube, human. We have tubes beyond your comprehension.
But gravity is
I
hard to mess
disagree.
with
The internet
water.
is a series of tubes, and we use it all the time.
You know but one aspect of the tube.
Tubes
The
are easier.
pornography?
I think tubes are easier for liquids. Gravity beams are easier for a solid.
Perhaps you are not as dull as we had suspected. This one grasps the tube.
Yes, see, I'm pro tube. The ancient ones are, and we're very early in this book, and this book dissects some things of what I have described in this weirdly hilarious and bizarre tale of sexual encounter. The ancient ones, and then we'll wrap this up, have 4 key points. Nope.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I do. I meant the Sasquatch people, which the ancient ones are part of 4 kind of types of Sasquatch.
Got it.
The text of the author reads, from my years of study and analysis, I understand that there are 4 types of forest giants in North America. Also, this is just North American.
Sure.
I have seen and interacted with 2 kinds. The traditional Sasquatch people and the ancient ones.
And the Gregs.
They're not a Sasquatch people, but they are meat lovers, I hear, according to Jordan.
If you know what I mean. Just like that one that appeared at this guy's cabin. Get it?
Yet there may be more subdivisions of them, which I am not aware. I was told by the beings that subraces exist and are often referred to as tribes because they are a people.
Fire type, grass type, ghost type, psychic type.
We're talking Pokemon / Avatar style separations of people. Everyone's got a superpower, baby. The Sasquatch people is the first that you might be familiar of or familiar with, who look ape-like with canonical heads, conical heads, and arms down to their knees. They are actually humanoid and very mentally, spiritually, and intellectually, and also physically evolved. In spite of their many animal-like qualities, that all low, that all AL dash low, that all.
I think it's allow.
That sounds like a
but
typo.
There's a break in the paragraph.
Yeah.
We found our first typo.
Nice.
Page 2.
If only it was that other word. Although that'd be a pretty big fucking typo.
That allow them to better survive in a raw wilderness environment.
We have tubes that you can only dream of.
Now, to humans, the ancient ones look very much like a Sasquatch, but that's why they made that point. This is not fur. This is long hair.
Boy, that would be a big mistake to make.
I'm sure it gets offensive sometimes, accidentally or so. You know, no one's trying to miscategorize a Sasquatch person with an ancient one, but we don't know the difference, us humans.
We barely understand the tube.
Maybe we'll learn more.
We know not the ways of the tube.
So the ancient ones, once again, look like Sasquatch, have human faces and round heads, and are also humanoid
hot bods, apparently.
Very hot, curvaceous bods, Jordan. Don't forget those curves.
I could never. They haunt me.
But not hominids or animals in any way. They're humanoid, not hominid. Like
how do you get out? How do you get outside of being an animal if you got cousin it hair? Is it a plant? What are we talking about here?
When you see an ancient one walk through that door, you'll know.
I'll know,
and you'll be in love. And you'll forget your ex-wife. You know, you're gonna move back to the city. You're gonna move to Seattle. You're leaving the woods. Okay, you're moving downtown.
I'm gonna learn to play guitar.
You know, probably not Seattle proper. You're probably in Redmond or some shit.
Oh God,
close enough.
No, I'm in Auburn. Ugh.
Yeah, you still go to the record store there, but
puke.
So the ancient ones, as a wrap up. Sasquatch-like, but more humanoid. Their arms are not long like Sasquatch, but are kind of exactly like ours. They are humans with hair, hair, not fur, all over.
That's sort of more disturbing than fur, actually.
Don't forget.
Well, just because I'm picturing like hair that grows out of a human's head.
Yeah,
yes,
me too.
Yes, that's exactly what was described.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's way weirder than fur.
It's pretty weird. It's a real cousin it situation.
Number 3, the dog-faced or baboon-like forest giants with a snout. We know them as dogmen and such, which are rarely reported, but are Sasquatch-like beings, except for their facial physiognomy.
Sure.
But I mean, you get over to Michigan or say like the Pope Lick area.
Sure.
They're everywhere.
I also think these guys probably then account for our titular name, the werewolves.
Right. Like
your Beast of Bray Road and whatnot.
Yeah.
Number 4 for North America, and then I will pass the wax-covered skull to the next of you. I'll try and keep that candle lit as well.
Please.
Number 4, the orangutan-faced one in Florida, often referred to as the skunk ape.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we did bully you a lot with that name.
I like.
You don't smell, buddy.
I did have an orangutan face, though.
You did, but then you got through puberty, and look at you now.
Lost my baby face. It fell off one night.
Yep. Molted.
I awoke one day to find that I had become a vermin.
So that is going to wrap up my segment. I will put the skull onto the floating plate that will then go to one of you and end my segment, which I will call Making Love to Sasquatch People. A dissection of a sexual encounter.
Wow. Okay. That was also my nickname in high school. Oh, the plate is coming to me. Unless, Nate, you would like me to send it to you?
By all means, take it.
Guys, I can't wait to tell you Sasquatch's message. And the future of Sasquatchery.
Oh, boy.
I cannot wait to hear it.
Is it erotic?
Yeah.
Is Sasquatch's message, ooh, that's it right there?
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
stop.
it exactly.
Sadly. Okay, well, spoilers, everyone.
Okay. Have we talked about Dolores Barrios?
I truly can't remember, which means if we did, it would have been a while ago. And for the Pingos, you only get the last 100 episodes, both normal and news on the main feeds. Website has everything, so it's been a while.
So this is a pretty strange one. It's a pretty short one, but this was something that I came across in my nightly scourings of strange internet forums. This is one article about an event that happened in the 40s concerning a being, potentially a person, known as Dolores Barrios. That's what she called herself. So this is from ufoac.com. For more than 70 years, UFO researchers have been tormented by the mystery of who this Dolores and her companions really were. If these names they mentioned were real, then why has no one discovered the slightest trace of their existence after all these years? So basically, what happened was in August of 1954, there was a gathering of UFO enthusiasts, if you will.
Early juggalos.
Yeah, early juggalos. This was in the town of Mount Palomar, California. Fella named George Adamski. We've actually heard of Adamski before. Adamski claimed to have had interactions with the Nordics and also people from Venus. He claimed that Venusians were among us. They were living and working with the people, and you could see them walking around pretty much every day, everywhere you went. Everywhere you look, everywhere you someone who's here from Venus. Now, the thing about Venus is it is not a great place to live.
Pretty inhabitable.
It was the first planet we got footage of, thanks to the Soviets.
Aside from the sun, it's basically the worst place in the solar system to be.
No, you Mercury forgettist. Mercury sucks pretty hard too.
Okay, Mercury sucks pretty hard too.
Mercury's hot. Venus has only acid in the sky.
Yeah, it's got acid clouds. Yeah,
Venus is hot and has acid humidity. Clouds
with a surface temperature of over. Anybody want to guess the surface temperature on Venus?
250.
1200 Fahrenheit.
You're insane.
You're talking 450 degrees Celsius.
Right in between.
Which is pretty bad. You're not
more than I guess.
You're not having lunch on the patio, I'll tell you that much.
Me and Nate were doing Fahrenheit.
Yeah. This is enough to melt zinc, lead, most organic materials. It is believed that Venus is the hottest place in the solar system with the exception of the sun itself.
Boo!
Roger. Damn.
Boo!
Damn.
Mercury. Come on, buddy.
Mercury.
Maybe Mercury's too small to be absorbing that much heat or something.
Dude,
Mercury
that pisses
deniers.
me the fuck off. Do I just kick the fucking computer and stop this show?
I think
I'll
you'd
tell you
call
right
NASA
now.
and tell them to cancel Mercury.
I'll tell you right now, this website, no offense to the people at ufoac.com, it doesn't, it's not the New York Times. Their sources are not.
Listen, the New York Times is going through a bit of a crisis right now with some bad reporting. So I think this might be just as credible as the New York Times
the gray lady.
right now.
See, this is the problem with making references when you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, so there's this UFO conference happening in August 1954, put on by this guy George Adamski. You can look him up. He may be full of shit. He's quoted as having said to people at one point that if it wasn't for the Great Depression, he wouldn't have had to get into all this saucer nonsense, I think was the exact quote, which he may or may not have said. It was put on by Adamski, Truman, Betjerum, and Daniel Fry. All three of them had their own stories of contact with UFOs and aliens, which were hotly discussed in the press. The event was attended by thousands of people, including contactees, FBI agents, and UFO witnesses. I'm not really sure what the difference between a contactee and a UFO witness is. I guess
one was seeing one and being actually like in contact with the aliens physically.
Right. Got it.
I want to say this is pretty close to the Integratron, maybe.
Yeah, you could be right. They
started having conferences out there pretty early on.
There is a wild picture from this meeting of a bunch of people sitting in the sun with like newspaper shaped like Napoleon hats on. Because it's so hot out, but it definitely looks like, oh, you're a bunch of psychos. This is not a good look, you guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, on the first day of the Congress, each of the contactees shared their experiences. George Adamski was known for his stories about contacts with Venusians. Those are the people from the planet, from the hot planet.
Which doesn't make sense to me. I refuse. I have to let it go.
You can look it up. You can do some counterintelligence if you'd like. I wouldn't hate it.
No, I'm still Googling Greg's and how to get Greg's here to
nice,
America.
Yeah. I think there might be one in New York City. I don't know. So according to him, aliens from Venus had penetrated deeply into our society. And live in big cities. He even showed a painted image of a Venusian humanoid, very similar to a typical Scandinavian type people with blonde hair and all kinds of shit like that, you know. Although that does sound like a Nordic more that he's describing,
right? Which would not be from Venus,
right? Yes,
they're pretty close. I thought I'm gonna go do a search for alien races, I guess, but I thought they were close.
Well, he says that the Venusians look a lot like the Nordics, but with not as pale skin. And actually, in his drawing, their skin is kind of pink, which is a strange touch. Yeah. So at the end of the first day, a strange girl was noticed among the people present, who very quickly became the center of everyone's attention. Now, I will say that this whole thing kind of has a weird stink of like nerds being like, a girl, and just sort of annoying the one hot girl who was there. So she looked suspiciously like the portrait of the Venusian. Shown by Adamski. She had blonde hair and large, dark, staring eyes, and there was something very unusual about the structure of her skull. That's the weirdest part about it. And there are pictures of this woman. She claimed that her name was Dolores Barrios, and you can see pictures of her, and she does have these weird ridges on her skull, and it's I mean, you don't want to be like, hey, you look weird, so you're an alien. But like, she apparently had this very strange kind of ethereal presence to her, and let me hit you with the you found them. Yes, there they are. She has this kind of wide bridge of her nose, which if you look, it's not a great picture because it's from the past. The ridge kind of goes up into her skull, and apparently she had ridges along the side of her head as well. And so she becomes the center of attention. Everybody is bugging the shit out of her. She kind of hates it. Everybody's
also, on this picture, everyone is wearing, I think, newspaper folded hats.
Yep, yeah, there it is. That's the picture.
That was the image. As a quick aside, do you want to know what the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac has to say about the Venusian physical characteristics?
Oh, please hit us.
Venusians are indistinguishable from Earth humans. Generally, women are 5'5" to 6'2", and men are 5'9" to 6'9", which honestly, that makes you a little bit distinguishable.
Cheesebot in the chat does say she does have a lot of Bajoran vibe to it.
Oh, for
Part
sure.
Bajoran or something.
Yeah, is that a
DS9?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I see you're a Star Wars fan, coward.
Do you hate science fiction?
God, I'm full of direct threats today. I'm sorry.
It's good. It's what we need. This is the energy we need, man.
The women are exceptionally beautiful and the men are quite handsome, and their eye colors are more vibrant than on other worlds. They radiate love and peace, and they are clear and precise thinkers. Other races, including the Pleiadians, have said to be in the presence of a Venusian is to be in the presence of divinity in its true form.
Wow. So these people, specifically, people said that she had dark eyes. And some people even said that she had like black eyes, like they were like her whole pupils were black.
It's what I see in any colorization. I think I found a good colorized. Colorized. That's the right word. A photo. Like they're definitely a dark.
Yeah, no, those are like looks like heavy pupil.
Yeah. It's kind of a wild scene. She was accompanied by two men who also had an atypical appearance. When you look at the two men, no, they didn't. They just look like a couple of lanky dudes. And they're atypical in the sense that they are lanky. One of them, they're both wearing these kind of strange V-neck black shirts, and one of them, the V looks like it's kind of drooping down. He almost looks like he has a weird collar ridge thing happening, but that's probably just his undershirt. Someone approached the girl and asked her a direct question without much difficulty. Are you Venusians? The girl, not at all bothered by the strange question, answered no with a smile. Why are you here? The interlocutor continued to insist nervously. Because we are interested in this topic, the girl answered frankly. Again, sounds like a nerd just bothering a pretty lady.
Yeah. They also seem to probably all be like regular college students.
I got them all up now. Shit. Like they seem like just lanky, young kids learning, developing into an adult, which is always an ugly duckling process.
I mean, these two guys are hanging out with her specifically because they want to get laid, and they're full friend zone.
Well, we learn more about them. The guy asked, do you believe in flying saucers? The man continued to ask, getting more and more nervous. The young woman, maintaining an amazing calmness, simply replied, yes. Oh, can you believe it? Then the man asked her a new question. Do you believe that aliens come from Venus? Asked Adamski, as Adamski said. The girls were firm, decisive as it was alarming. Yes, they come from Venus. Then a journalist named João Martins, who came to the Congress from Brazil, approached the unusual trio and interviewed the three strangers. During the conversation, he learned that the woman's name was Dolores Barrios, and she was a fashion designer from New York. The two men were her friends Donald Morin and Bill Jackmart, musicians living in Manhattan Beach, California. Despite the names and professions given to him, Martins was also suspicious of Dolores, since her unusual appearance really attracted everyone's attention. It super does have this vibe. She's not
unusual at all.
It does have this strange vibe of just like a hot girl made the mistake of going into a room full of nerds, and they're all like, well, what is she? Despite the names and professions, right, on the next day of the Congress, Martin still came to the trio again and took several photos of them, which suddenly scared them very much. It was reported that after photographing the girl and her two companions, they quickly left somewhere in the direction of the forest, and no one saw them. Soon after that, in the same area, people saw a UFO taking off from the forest.
That's enough for me.
Yep, sounds like a ironclad theory.
So the whole thing has the vibe of like a hot lady is verbally harassed by incels over the course of 2 days, finally has enough and leaves. Yeah. If it wasn't,
someone starts taking pictures and she's like, we have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that the pictures themselves are a little strange. She's a pretty lady. She's not, she's not like completely alien looking, but she does have sort of an etheric quality that you could see being like, okay, yeah, there's something a little strange about her.
Yeah, but so do models.
Yes, so do models. Exactly. And then also, apparently in the aftermath of this, nobody could ever find any of them again. Like none of these people seem to exist aside from their names.
That's a weird one too. Also, and it's all coincidental, but the series of events to where they run off into the forest, they see a UFO fly off from that general direction, and then they are never seen of or anything again. Like this is when is it? This is like the 50s or some shit, right? The 50s, 60s,
I believe.
Yeah, that part kind of reeks of.
This is beyond the point where you can just make people disappear like that, because there's birth records and names, people are being recorded as we do now.
Right. That part to me, for some reason, reeks of mass hysteria, like somebody being like, where did they go? They went to the forest. Oh my God, I saw a UFO. I saw it too. Kind of thing, you know?
True.
Yeah, especially since they're all out there specifically to
looking
see
for UFOs. Regardless, it seems like a strange thing happened. They didn't want their pictures taken, which is not all that strange. And then when the guy took their pictures, they were like, we're out of here. So not super strange, but Adamski himself did not like the story. He felt that this trio deliberately came to his event to pretend to be Venusians and harm his reputation. For more than 70 years, UFO researchers have been tormented by the mystery of who this Dolores and her companions really were. If the names and professions they mentioned were real, then why has no one discovered the slightest trace of their existence after all these years? Neither in New York nor California, nor in any other U.S. state. Thousands of people have tried to solve this mystery over the years, but have not found anything.
Well, I think that they were probably fun college kids who wanted to go see some weird shit. This is 100% something that I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have given a fake name if I had the opportunity.
Names. Yeah. Fake names. Honestly, like that's kind of where I'm at, is like these were people who just didn't like the attention they were getting and bailed out. But then you come to the idea of like, then, you know, why are people still telling the story? And this picture of her does show some kind of strange morphology. She does seem to have this weird kind of cranial, which is like, yeah, people could have that. But I mean, I've never seen somebody with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely could be that she's some sort of other species.
and the chat, she's been on the chat, is correct. This is actually from the time, and probably one of the last times where you could just have a secret family. It would never come back to bite you. You could just have a secret Portuguese family down in Brazil, or Brazilian family.
Never see you again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just fly back and forth. You were just going there for work.
Yeah. So that does it for my segment that I'm calling "Leave Dolores Alone, You Creeps." I'm calling this segment "Incels Freak Out, Last Remaining Venusian."
I mean, that's almost extra funny, is if she really was a Venusian and she was just like, fuck this planet.
Fuck out of here, dude.
You guys are so creepy.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the world.
Yeah, I think that dude just took some of my hair.
All right. Well, let me burn my fingers on the speaking skull.
Burn.
Ah!
You got to chant too, you know.
Burn. So we're gonna get an old-fashioned poltergeisting.
Ooh, you know I love that.
Noisy.
One of these
ghosts.
that
a mug
I had
hucker.
not heard of. Oh, this is full-on mug hucking. And I read several fairly long articles about this, but for the sake of time, I have a much shorter one.
Part to it like I am, man. Give us it all, but slowly.
This is
That's
leading
also the
into
quote
a
from
thing that'll become This is from a website for Akron ghost tours. This is Akron, Ohio. We're going to go back past to the Metzler house. Stone-throwing ghosts have been documented in and around Europe since the 1590s. The Metzler family, recent immigrants from Germany, experienced their first stoning in Akron in their home in 1858. While husking corn in the field behind her house, Maria Metzler, I should mention Maria and I believe it's Michael Metzler. They have 6 kids, and Maria's mother lives with them as well. He works in a nearby, like, smelting factory or something.
That's where you smell things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And then you have to leave immediately, or else you're doing it, and that's not the right tense.
Yeah.
It's a smelting factory.
exactly.
He worked as a bomb sniffing dog at a nearby
He was a
airport.
bomb sniffing man.
Yeah.
While husking corn in the field behind her house, Maria Meltzer was pelted with stones from the sky.
Oh.
So she was out there with a couple other people, and just rocks started being thrown at her and a couple other women. And they thought that they were being accosted by like some local hooligans. So they ran back home. Anyway, her husband comes back. And she's like, look, this is crazy. But I couldn't get the corn that we wanted to get because somebody started throwing rocks at me.
Yeah.
And it felt, yeah. So they went there, checked it out. There was nobody around, but that's not that weird. However, a little while later, as the children were finishing up their chores, which are also outside, they too were bombed with egg-sized stones. Upon discussing the two events, the family determined that someone was playing a mean joke on them.
Remember when throwing rocks was a joke?
It was pretty hilarious.
It was when you hit that poor child right in the head.
Oh,
yeah,
he'd start bleeding.
Always great.
Then your parents sent you to military school.
What good times the beginning of that Stephen King novel were.
Yeah, you're yelling, Piggy!
Yeah.
As the rock crushes his skull. The next evening, while husking corn once again, Maria was hit by flying stones and clumps of dirt. But the abuse did not stop there. The next day, the stones appeared on the inside of the house.
Oh.
Mysteriously appearing from just beneath the ceiling. One rock hit Maria's daughter in the face, and soon clumps of coal and brick entered into the mix, supposedly from nowhere. So, everything I've heard about this, they just, naturally assumed it's Utes, as you said.
As you do, yeah.
But then they started getting rocks thrown at them
inside
seemingly
the house.
From their walls.
Yeah, now I was going to say, one time me and my mom were walking along and it started hailing really hard, and my mom thought somebody was throwing rocks at her, but it was hail. And here's the thing about it. Rarely does it happen indoors.
Yes.
Very
100%.
atypical.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder, I don't know how any of this works, but I assume right away that the rocks were already inside the house and just like waiting up top, waiting for the right moment to be thrown. So if you looked, you would be like, what is this rock doing up there in that corner?
Well,
and then you get hit in the head.
They weren't.
I thought so.
They seem to, and apparently there was no, people thought like, well, you live near an industrial situation, maybe your house is shitty and it's fucking up the ceiling.
Do you live near an industrial situation? Is your house shitty? Call me. Daniel F. Mughucker.
So the plaster on all of the roofs untouched. No, nothing was broken. There were no cracks or anything. So there was no reason for there to be rocks falling out of nowhere. And they do describe them as rocks, not as like pieces of. I mean, they're pebbles, but
pieces of 8.
Yeah, it's not pieces of April.
Pieces of 8.
Pieces of 8.
Right.
So people are getting hit in the face with these things. They're getting hit on the back. Here's a weird thing about it is that every one of the rocks doesn't hurt.
What?
It's just annoying.
So even if it's you, it's just like, oh.
Yeah. Just like, what the fuck was it? Oh, a rock.
Startling, not painful. I guess that's better.
How did this happen? I'm in the kitchen inside my home. Anyway, as remember, all things do in this time, news spread through Akron quickly, and people came from all over the town to witness the stone throwing phenomenon.
As one should.
One of the articles I read said 6,000 people showed up.
Good Lord.
Over a 2-week period.
Man, I love it when a ghost just brings the community together.
Me too.
Well, it brought the community together, but also the community was like partially going there to we'll get into it, but like they would throw stones at the outside of the house and shit.
They would throw rocks right back at them.
Yeah.
I mean, fight fire with fire, right?
When journalists arrived to cover the stone story, they too were accosted by, and this is important, warm, wet rocks.
Ew.
They're always slightly wet, and they're hot to the touch, or they're extremely cold to the touch.
Weird.
The news spread nationwide, and it was reported that more than, this says 2,000 people, the Fortean Times article said 6. When the family visited the property, when the family found themselves at wit's end, they brought in a Catholic priest to perform an exorcism on the rock-throwing ghosts. The exorcism did not go well. This thing doesn't mention it. The guy's name was, I believe, Father Brune or Reverend Brune. I'm not exactly what his title, but it'd be Father Brune. He's Catholic.
Sure.
But he came in and immediately a bunch of rocks manifested and started pelting everyone in the room while he was trying to do the exorcism.
Nice.
Again, that warm, wet rock.
That's so weird.
Eventually, he was like, I'm washing my hands of this. You're doing
gross
something.
Is what it is.
It's like the ghost put it in his mouth and spit
it might. Well, I mean, maybe that's how it worked. It was like a Kirby situation.
I mean, mouth. We're hoping. I'll say.
All right. Anyway, this dude, Father Brune, initially walked out and said, "No, this has to be a hoax. Somebody's doing this. I think it's probably the youngest daughter."
Of course.
Seems to always happen in a poltergeist situation. They're like, "Oh, it's always the young daughter who's
somebody
around.
Here is a witch."
And here's the thing. He also accused the grandmother that was living there of being a witch.
Good Lord. Bring me all your women. One of them has done this.
Bring me your weakest women. Your oldest and youngest, and I shall accuse them of things they cannot defend.
Tell me, is there anyone here who cannot defend themselves?
Supposedly, because she was a German immigrant.
Oh well, shit! I didn't know that.
You know,
as a family with German immigrants, let me tell you, they're all evil. They're all evil witches.
They were all German immigrants, but she was also like a midwife and stuff, so she knew about like rural herbal concoctions and how to treat people without a doctor, without being a doctor technically.
This bitch knew about concoctions.
She knows about concoctions. Therefore, must be witchcraft. She could be the one throwing the stones with her mind and her spells. Or the priest thought there might be another witch retaliating against her by pelting the family with stones.
So witch on witch crossfire.
That's a pretty good curse, though. Like out of all the curses that are like, because I'm just trying to make sure your time's not too good. I'm not trying to hurt you. Just a good pebble throwing curse is perfect.
Sure, give her the old hot rocks.
Warm rocks, but I also put them somewhere. You guess.
Yeah, hot rocks is the higher level spell, huh?
Yeah, that's the level 2. I'm a level 3 wizard. I only have one level 2 slot, and I'm not going to waste it on hot rock.
And then you get to
level 2
then you get to
slot.
pop rocks.
Yeah, I cast pop rock instead.
So yeah, part of the community that showed up was also there to be like, we know that there's a witch in here. What are you doing? What the fuck is going on? And it caused a lot of anxiety in the family. Especially for the grandmother, who was definitely probably not a witch.
Yeah. She's just upstairs knitting. Grandma, could you come in here for a second? Someone would like to accuse you of something.
There's 1,000 people outside, and 200 of them would like to say that you're a witch then stone you.
I say that. She know about concoctions, man.
She knew how to mix various herbs that were, I thought, poisonous, but here we are now able to put it on my wounds and I am not dying.
She knows how to heal people. She's evil. She eats tomatoes? What?
What the fuck?
God intended me to die from smallpox, and here she is saving me.
Here she is jumping in front of that, foiling God's play.
Well, that's what witches do, man. Witches do what they do. Guests of the exorcism also experienced warm, wet rocks being tossed their way. Yet the ceiling above, like I said, showed no signs of deterioration or manipulation.
There a chance that these are turds?
Like a kind of sickly bunch of rats up there just dropping dehydrated pebbles on them.
What is a turd but a warm wet rock?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they can recognize a rock versus rat feces.
Well, really? You think these people accusing a grandma and a child of witchcraft?
Not when you're in the throes of witchery. Maybe it was just too rude. And they were like, oh, we can't say that they're turds. This is going to be in the newspaper.
Well, occasionally it was like coal or pieces of brick, which were not part of. I mean, the coal thing is why they initially thought maybe it was the daughter throwing something around. But multiple reporters came from all over the country, really. There were like, I think I read quotes from 5 different papers spread throughout mostly the eastern half of the United States. And every single one of them was like, this is inexplicable.
That's a lot more credible than what we are giving it credit for then.
Yeah.
I assume that everyone involved does know the difference between a turd and a piece of brick, coal, and rock. However, coal and brick are just colors of blood poo, if you think about it.
All right. Well, I think we've gone too far here. So anyway, after about 2 weeks, the rocks ceased to fall, and the Metzlers went back to living a normal life. They never moved, it turns out. The mystery surrounding these strange events exists to this day, and people continue to visit the location of the old home, which is now a parking lot, in hopes of encountering the stone-throwing ghost and being struck in the face.
Werewolf Radar vacation, do we go to the parking lot?
I think we always
to
go
the parking lot.
And here's an interesting fact about the stone throwing, and it relates to a bunch of other poltergeist investigations. So you would get hit with them, and they wouldn't hurt. They would just like bonk you, and you'd be like, "What the fuck?" And they would fall straight to the ground. They wouldn't move, even if you were like, they wouldn't bounce off of you or any walls. It would just fall.
Weird.
It is really fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah. And the article, the long article I read was from a guy who did a whole series of investigations into various poltergeist phenomenon. And he has seen this across the board in almost everything that he's looked at. At Enfield, there were marbles that were thrown at people, and they would do the exact same thing.
Here,
They would
where are
hit
they coming from?
and then fall. In Enfield, there might have been marbles around, and the ghost was throwing them. In this one, it appears that the stones were actually manifested from the aether and tossed against you.
I don't
or
know
against a wall. A lot of the times it would just whiz past you, and it was like it would hit a wall, fall straight down, no
What's
bounce.
It called when you have a hard time believing something because it's from the past?
Historiphobia.
That's kind of what's happening with me right now. I'm like, I want to know. I wish we had some of these rocks. I wish we could tell what kind of rocks they were. I wish, we could.
Well,
like they were wet. Wet with what? Was it water or something more disgusting?
They were just moist. At first, they thought because it was happening outside, they just thought that it was like dew. Like someone had picked it up out of wet grass and thrown it.
Or wet
but
rocks.
Even then, it would be like kind of cold. These are warm, as if they've been imbued with some kind of energy.
And I think that's part of the problem with how we do paranormal investigations. We don't have the clean room lab ready to go.
Let me tell you this: the guy who wrote the main article. And I'm going to do this as a grave nugget, the Humpty Doo poltergeist
okay.
in Australia.
Yeah, you do
this that. This happened in the 90s and was going on. I believe the investigation was in like 2005. And all the same stuff. And they did have access to these sorts of things. Like there was some science going on there.
Okay.
What did they say of the warm white rocks?
Save it for the grave nugget. Make me have to pay for it. I like to pay for it.
The things that they said, very similarly, it was a manifestation of a thing that got thrown, and they can't tell you why. Also, in the Akron, in the Metzler house, you would hear a whizzing noise, apparently, before the rock even was thrown. So there was a good, apparently 15 seconds or so where you could see this like little thing showing up, and it would be like,
that's so weird.
And then swing at you.
It's almost like an energy buildup sound or something, like something's forming.
It almost seems like it's someone in another dimension, but like trying to get your attention or something, and this is all they can do.
Right. Or like maybe even from the future or some shit. And they're just like in a weird chamber that allows them to access the past, but only with weirdly physical, I don't know, maybe there's like zinc ions or something.
What was that one awful Christopher Nolan movie? It was
all of them.
Yes, in Batman Beyond.
That's not one of them.
Not a thing. Go ahead.
No, in Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey. It starts with a paranormal event kind of, and then it turns out he enters the black hole or some shit, and then he's the ghost.
It ends up being him.
Yes, that's right.
And it's the only way he can communicate. So I'm all about right now that theory to where like this is the only way something can communicate, and it
wasn't so bad after all, eh?
Seems like a fate worse than death.
I don't know. It was pretty boring.
Don't forget though, that was the start of Matt Damon's Lost Astronaut acting arc.
Interstellar is one of those movies where it's like I saw it once and I was like, that was pretty good. I hope I never have to watch it again.
I was the lone 35 millimeter projectionist at the Alamo Draft House when it was showing. So I've seen it
too many times.
I don't know, 100 times. I mean, I haven't actually watched it that many times, but
folks,
that's
going to do it for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Is there anything else we need to tell the people?
I guess if you happen to go to Akron, I don't know why you're going to Ohio, but
find
if
us
you're
a wet
there,
rock.
Go find this parking lot.
Find us one of those wet rocks.
Dig up some of the asphalt, throw it around, see what happens.
See what happens.
See, I think if it's a true experience, though, the asphalt will dig itself up, put it somewhere on the body, and make it wet and warm, and toss it at you.
Interesting.
I bet that the city infrastructure isn't there, that the parking lot's not already cracked and partially destroyed.
It's a good point. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Werewolf Radar. You all are the best. We could not do this show without you. Literally, we couldn't do it. If nobody was listening, we would just be talking into a can for no good reason. Thank you to all of our Patreons, our Dark Council members. You can, if you really enjoyed what you heard today, you can become one of them and get an extra episode every week. You can go to www.patreon.com/werewolf radar. You'll see all the cool bonuses and accoutrement that you will be afforded from becoming a Dark Council members. If you want to watch us play some games, you can catch us on twitch.tv/werewolf_radar, where we'll be playing dungeons, we'll be playing dragons, we'll be playing maybe Grammy, I think it was called. No, what was
Granny. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. We play games there, spooky stuff. Roger's getting an Elden Ring run going on, which is maybe the spookiest game. We're getting geared up for that DLC, y'all. Super pumped. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. We love you, dude. Thanks a lot. What else? What am I forgetting?
What 5-star reviews wherever you can. I think you said. If not, please do it. That really helps us. That's one of the biggest ways to help us.
We need them.
Did we say that it was twitch.tv/werewolf_radar?
werewolf_radar.
You know, our YouTube, please like and subscribe, all the videos. Yeah. You know what's up. There's a bunch of you who watch it that way, so thank you for doing it. So our numbers are up. Although small, they are up.
Small and up. And please share our content. Join our Discord. We need it. Please, we can't breathe. That does it for this episode of Werewolf Radar. On the count of 3, please join us in shouting our sign-off line. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe!